What's up everybody, it's your boy LVS Void coming in here for a new what if, which is what if Naruto had the Demon Slayer mark, or what if Naruto was Yoriichi's reincarnation from Demon Slayer. So for this what if, Naruto will be born with the Demon Slayer mark, and the Demon Slayer mark, it basically just allows you to have enhanced physical capabilities. So I'll be amping this up phenomenally for it to actually be strong in the Naruto verse. So he'll be really physically stronger than a lot of the other characters, and it also allows you to have the transparent world, which this is also manga spoilers for Demon Slayer as well. Forgot to mention that. But it allows you to have the transparent world, which basically you can see all the muscles and blood flow of everything. So basically, your eyesight, you can basically see through things, and everything gets much slower. So it's basically like the Sharingan, but it's you can see through things and just see all the blood flow and what's going through there. So I'll be changing some of that to the transparent world. It'll also be like the Byakugan, where you can see through and see the chakra, the way the chakra goes through the body. And also there's a last thing, which is the Crimson Red Nichiren Blade. So in this what if, Naruto will be a swordsman. So that blade, it's just gonna be like a sharper type of blade that I'll say it cuts through I'll explain it when we get into the actual what if. As well as Naruto also used the sun breathing techniques as well. So let's get right into this. At Naruto's birth, again with all the other what ifs, at Naruto's birth, Naruto didn't cry at all. He had a stoic face, and you could see that he had a fire type birthmark on his face. Naruto, just like Yoriichi, doesn't have any basically facial emotions to output what he's actually thinking most of the time. And so again, Obito will come in and kidnap Naruto, and the same thing would happen with Minato having to save Naruto, save Kushina. Will try to, but Obito will release the Nine Tails and summon it in the village. And the same thing will happen with Naruto getting half of the Nine Tails sealed inside himself, as well as Minato and Kushina dying. We'll skip to when Naruto is 4 years old. During this time, Naruto still has this mark, and it continues to grow on his face, but stops when he was going 14. So you'll have basically look like Yoriichi with his mark. The Third Hokage would notice that Naruto doesn't seem to have any facial emotions on his face, and he can only he doesn't have any fighting spirit, as you would call it. He would ask Naruto if he's feeling depressed or whatever, but Naruto would just say he's fine. Naruto in his childhood would also be very kind and a very warm type of person, as he goes out into the village and also helps the villagers. But the villagers wouldn't think anything of this, and would often curse at him, saying that he should just leave them alone. Naruto, however, still being the kind-hearted person, wouldn't take this to heart, and would notice that everyone has a type of angry emotion towards him, without him even interacting with them in the first place. Naruto, noting all of this, would make it a goal to himself to have everyone acknowledge him, just like how it is in the original. Naruto would be much more physically enhanced than what he is in the original. So by 4 years old, he would have been able to do what normal 4-year-olds wouldn't have able to do, like in the original. He would be able to run and jump off buildings with relative ease, being able to run from some of the villagers who try to attack him to get him away from their stores. The Third Hokage, noticing that Naruto is very physically capable and could be a very good ninja, brings in a Chunin to see where Naruto is at. Naruto asks if he could have a sword in the battle, as the Chunin also has a sword, and they would have those it's like the fake wooden sword type of things, and they would be in get ready in a stance. I'd like to also point out that Naruto is still like a 4-year-old, and this is still like a Chunin who is very adept in swords. The Third Hokage, wanting to see where Naruto is at fully with his capabilities, would start the fight. Well, it wouldn't really be a fight, it'd be like kind of a train to see where it is. The Chunin, however, has dark emotions towards Naruto, as he believes that Naruto, just like a lot of the other ninjas and civilians alike, will believe that Naruto is the Kyuubi itself, seeming as Naruto has this hideous face birthmark and his lack of emotions that you can see on his face, as he's always got a dull look. During the fight, Naruto will be able to easily see using the transparent world, which nobody knows about except him, and will be able to see the blood flow and all the chakra networks in his body, and see where the Chunin is going to strike. Naruto would easily be able to disarm him and actually defeat the Chunin at the age of 4. This is also because I'm amping the curse, the Demon Slayer mark. The Third Hokage would be very surprised by this outcome, seeing as Naruto was easily able to disarm a Chunin, as well as get him into a stance where he would be able to easily beat him. The Third Hokage thinks to himself that Naruto is a very strong and capable person, but he can see that if this power goes the wrong way, then a dark plague would plague the world, as Naruto would be as he is right now, very strong, and will continue to grow in strength. The Third Hokage, instead of the original with him being an absolute dous, that's a South African slang by the way, he's like an arsehole or a dumbass, would actually take an initiative in raising Naruto, as he is not taking he's growing a backbone to the council and telling them to literally just like F off, as he wants to actually take up on the promise that he made to Minato and Kushina to raise Naruto and give him a healthy and happy childhood, as well as a life in general. The Third Hokage would then actually entrust Naruto to some trusted ninjas. Well, not really ninjas, but I think like Anbu, trusted Anbu, as well as certain maids to take care of Naruto. Naruto would still, however, not live with the Third Hokage, but be still in the same apartment as he was before. But the apartment wouldn't be run down, and he would still have the caregivers who have been trained to understand that Naruto is not the Kyuubi itself, but is its jailer, as well as Naruto, who is a kind-hearted person, would easily be able to soothe the hearts of the people taking care of him, resulting in Naruto still not having a family, but having close people to him. One of the Anbu that would be taking care of Naruto would be Kurenai. I'm pretty sure by this time, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure Orochimaru has now left the village. I'm pretty sure, I'll just say Kurenai is now, I'll just put her as an Anbu. She's not like a real skilled at this time, but she will be getting stronger in the future. Naruto, in this scenario, would have a much happier childhood, and would be much stronger than the original. And during his sixth birthday, during this time, the Uchiha massacre would happen. On his 7th birthday, Naruto would then be able to go into the academy. The Third Hokage, Hiruzen, wouldn't actually allow Naruto to become a ninja, or anybody at a younger age become a ninja early, as his testament to what and how Itachi massacred the clan through his request, but still, he doesn't want to have child ninjas or child soldiers, so everyone would have to go through the full length of the academy. Naruto would be issued into the academy at the age of 7, and would be welcomed into his class. His class would be the same as the original. I'm pretty sure that the class does change every year, and I'm pretty sure Iruka was the last year's teacher, but I'll change it to have Iruka being the teacher for all the years. of Naruto's class, as it is filled with all of the clan head's children. During his time in the academy, Naruto would have taken up his swordsman skills and would have been able to use his abilities to try and formulate the Breath of the Sun. Using the Breath of the Sun and all the marks, all the techniques in it, I'll go over them now. The first form is Dance, which is basically just a high-powered vertical slash. The second form is Clear Blue Sky, which is the user will spin their body, use a horizontal slash to deliver a 360-degree slash. Raging Sun, which is the user unleashes 2 horizontal slashes in order to hit or defend the incoming attacks. Burning Bones Summer Sun, which is the fourth technique. The user will be able to unleash a large vertical slash that defends from imminent frontal attacks. It is basically it's like a slash that goes all around in a spiral type of fashion. So it's like a vortex, like what Obito did with his fire style type of thing. Setting Stun Transformation. The user will backflip into the air and deliver a powerful up-ended sword slash that aims to decapitate their target. Solar Heat Haze. The user changes towards the target, unleashes a horizontal slash, seemingly covered in a haze that seems to look like it will fail to hit, but it actually will hit the target. Beneficent Radius. The user spirals in the air and delivers a powerful slash that surrounds the enemy. Summerflower Thrust. The user will unleash a singular thrust at the point of the blade into a target. Dragon Sun Halo Dance. The user unleashes a continuous fast and powerful sword attacks that seemingly take the form of a Japanese dragon made of solar flames. Fire Wheel. The user leaps behind the opponent and spins in an air downwards, releasing a sword attack in a circular motion. Fake Rainbow. The user performs a high-speed twists and rotations, thus creating after images used mostly to evade attacks, and these will make the form, where he was, look like a rainbow, or like particles of a rainbow. And Flame Dance, a 2-combo strike, which starts a vertical slash and then a horizontal one. And the 13th form is just all those continuously going after each other. Naruto, as well as using the Sun Breath attack, will be able to have the capabilities of having infinite stamina, using his breaths to continuously move. And it's basically one of the things of sun breathing. You can literally move forever, so there's no stamina drain during this time. So all these things will also have Naruto would have, in his academy years, would have been able to, or the first year, been able to practice and master all these type of techniques, all the 13 forms of the sun breathing. Naruto wouldn't have told anybody about the transparent world, as well as any of anything to do with that, as he thinks that this is a normal thing, like what Yoriichi thinks in the original of Demon Slayer. During the first academy year, there's Iruka and Mizuki. During the time of the year, Naruto would have been able to absorb as much information as possible, but all of his classmates, minus Shikamaru and I think it's just Shikamaru and Shino, would think that Naruto is weird, as he doesn't seem to have any facial expressions and doesn't show any type of want to do anything, as he doesn't have any fighting spirit, as what the Demon Slayer mark actually does. I think it's just sun breathing. Iruka would organize the class to do an outside fighting test to see where their skills are at, and Naruto would, through the help of Mizuki wanting to get Naruto to be hurt, would pair him up with Sasuke to go in a fight. I'm going to put in now that in these fights, you're allowed to have weapons, but not actual weapons. So it'd be like fake kunais or fake swords. And Naruto would take out a fake wooden sword, and Sasuke would take out fake kunais as his and they take their stance, beginning the fight. In an instant, Sasuke is on the ground. The kunais are scattered around the kunais are on the ground as well, and Sasuke has got the blade to his neck. In an instant, Iruka would call the match, saying that Naruto is the winner, while all the academy students, as well as the teachers, would be absolutely surprised of Naruto's phenomenal fighting techniques, and Naruto would be named the winner. During that year, Naruto would get the top grades as well as the best physical grades as well, and would start up a type of rivalry with Sasuke. But Sasuke throughout the year would always challenge Naruto, but Naruto would always win, as again, he's much stronger than Sasuke. We'll skip now to the final year of the academy. Naruto's relationship with the village would have increased a lot, as Naruto, with his kind-hearted attitude and not actually having the want to prank the villagers all the time, would actually have a much better relationship with the village, as some of them were actually starting to understand Naruto, and through the help of Naruto's friends, some of the villagers would start to understand that Naruto is not actually the demon itself. But as well as from the villagers understanding this, Hiruzen would also help with this, as Hiruzen now has a better type of relationship, an outwards relationship with Naruto, as the villagers can see that Naruto does have a grandfather type of bond with the Third Hokage, and would notice that the Hokage doesn't seem to be on the defensive with Naruto all the time, but instead seems to think highly of Naruto, and the villagers would reciprocate this and treat Naruto better and not give him the odd gaze all the time. So Naruto, with that, will step to the final exam. In the exam, Naruto, instead of like the original, well, same with the original, would not be able to perform the clone jutsu, as Naruto, who still had the help and training of the Anbu, as well as some of the caregivers, as they are ex-ninjas, would still have just too much chakra to be able to perform a singular clone. Hiruzen would understand that this is a problem that Naruto has, and would understand that this is something that Naruto wouldn't actually be able to do, as he has told Iruka that in the final test, Naruto would not have to perform this jutsu, and instead will be given a different task, which would be a physical type of exam, instead of that particular part of the exam. Naruto in the quiz would answer all the questions correctly, getting scores that exceed that of his father's Minatos in the academy, as Naruto is now very smart. As Naruto is very smart and very adept in learning in all those type of areas. So Sasuke would always continue to be jealous of Naruto, and the girls in the class wouldn't really like Naruto, but they would have admiration for him, as he is still very strong, but he has that mark on his face that makes them have an ick towards them, as it is very off-putting, as they would say. But still, they wouldn't hate him. Instead, they would have the admiration and respect, as Naruto is still the strongest in the classroom, as well as some think that he is actually stronger than the teachers themselves, which would be true. So for the final exam, for the final test, Naruto would perform all the two jutsus, which was the transformation jutsu, as well as the substitution jutsu, and would not perform the clone jutsu. Sasuke, knowing that Naruto doesn't have to perform this, would ask Iruka and demand why he doesn't have to do this part of the test. Iruka would tell the class that Naruto simply just has too much chakra, and no amount of chakra control would allow Naruto to perform this jutsu. The class would be very surprised by this, and ask why does Naruto have so much more chakra than themselves. Naruto would explain that Naruto is from the Uzumaki clan, who have a very strong life essence and a very large chakra pool that is similar towards the Senju clan and sometimes even exceeds them. The class would be awestruck at Naruto's potential, as he has a lot more chakra and is very physically adept in the ninja arts. Naruto would ask what his final test is for the exam, and Iruka and Mizuki would tell him that his final test will be a fight between him and Mizuki. Oh my god, I can't even speak. I'll just say it, Mizuki, however, will be thinking of different thoughts, as Iruka had told him to go easy on Naruto, as he still is a Chunin and Naruto is a Genin. Iruka doesn't know of Naruto's actual fighting capabilities, and doesn't know that Naruto actually beat a Chunin who was known for his swordsman skills at the age of 4, and would believe that Naruto still is a Genin with his skill, but is reaching Chunin level. The class goes outside and Mizuki is waiting for Naruto, and Naruto again grabs the wooden sword. During this time as well, Naruto, I'll get to that later. Naruto grabs the wooden sword, and Mizuki grabs some kunai. Not wooden kunai, I would say, as Mizuki, who is a trained Chunin, barely even a Chunin, honestly. Iruka would think that he still has the skills to not actually hit Naruto with actual kunai, but so he still would have proper kunai. The fight would begin, and instantly Mizuki would speed towards Naruto, but Naruto, who was looking at Mizuki, finding him moving really slow, will be able to see and predict all of Mizuki's attacks, and would in an instant attack Mizuki using the first form, Dance, to deliver a high-powered vertical slash, immediately hitting Mizuki on the head, knocking him out. The class would all have different expressions. For most of the class, it would be amazement that Naruto in a single move defeated their teacher with one strike. Sasuke, however, would have an annoyed look and a seething look, as he was wondering how someone from the Uchiha clan, cannot defeat this person, and then he's coming from a dead clan, as he would put it, as the class did learn about the Uzumaki clan and how they were very strong, but during the Second Ninja War, they were destroyed. With Iruka seeing that Mizuki was defeated in an instant, would call the match, and that Naruto would get his ninja forehead band. I forgot what it's called. It's like Hayate or something like that. And the day would end with Naruto passing and all the original people passing. Iruka would tell the class that they will be meeting up in 2 weeks to discuss where they will be put into teams, and they would be off to do their genin practices. With the day ending, Naruto would meet up with his grandfather, the Third Hokage, and the Third Hokage would have a present for him, showing Naruto a real sword. Naruto during all this time wouldn't have been practicing with real swords, but instead would be practicing with those wooden swords, and now for his first time would be given a proper katana. This katana, however, is a special katana from the Third Hokage, as it was made from a type of metal that soaks in chakra, being one of the legendary weapons from the Sage of Six Paths. I want to make this like a new weapon type of thing, so it'll basically be the Nichiren blade. Instead of soaking up the sun, it soaks up chakra, which will also be like it'll also soak up like the sun and stuff. So it will have those type of properties. When Naruto grabs it, the blade would turn black, as it does in the with both Tanjiro and Yoriichi, and in fights it will turn red. Hiruzen would see the blade that has turned from its silver coloring to now black. It would not and wouldn't think anything of it, thinking that it might have corresponded with Naruto's chakra. Naruto would go off, thanking the Third Hokage for the present, and would go off back home, or to the training fields, to practice using the sword and get used to the weight of it, as well as practicing his 13 forms of sun breathing. Because Naruto has passed the exam, and Mizuki had seen that their skill level was very different to what he would thought, wouldn't tell Naruto to steal the soul scroll ceiling, but instead would go towards Kiba. Kiba, in this, during the academy days, would have also lost to Naruto, and because of him seeing himself as an alpha, would want to beat Naruto no matter what, and Mizuki would take advantage of this, as he has noticed that Kiba at any cost would want to beat Naruto from constantly training, and would always have this constant angry look whenever he looked at Naruto. Mizuki would influence Kiba, telling him that this is an extra part of the exam, and that Naruto and Sasuke had also passed this exam, and it is to steal the scroll of sealing and meet him in the forest. Meeting him there, he would be able to get the extra points and would be able to become a chunin at a much faster rate, as he now as this adds extra points to his gaining practices. Kiba, being an idiot, would believe the story and would immediately go to try to steal the scroll of sealing and would succeed. Naruto at the training field, however, that is close to the forest, would see Kiba as he is running with the scroll of sealing. Naruto, who was always going to the Third Hokage's office in the Hokage Tower, would notice what that scroll is, and it would immediately go and confront Kiba about this. Kiba, however, would tell Naruto that he's just trying to trick him, and Mizuki would appear. Mizuki would appear, telling Kiba that Naruto is just trying to make it so Kiba would lose the extra points, as Naruto had failed in this test, and he does not want Kiba to get ahead of him. Naruto, however, would try to convince Kiba that this is wrong, and that Mizuki seems to be a traitor to the village. Mizuki would yell at Kiba, telling him to give him the scroll of sealing, and Naruto would take out the sword that he is practicing with and protect Kiba, as Mizuki had thrown the giant shuriken at them. In an instant, Naruto would use the first form, the first technique of the Breath of the Sun, and would use Dance to use a vertical slash and deflect and destroy the giant shuriken. In an instant as well, Naruto would use Clear Blue Sky and would instantly vanish from where he was, protecting Kiba, and vanish behind Mizuki, and would use the 360-degree slash, decapitating Mizuki in an instant, killing him. Kiba, who is terrified at this moment, as he's just watched his classmate, who he had negative feelings about, but still had the admiration and respect because he was so strong, would be terrified, as he had just killed his teacher, who he trusted and thought had cared for him. Kiba would run away from Naruto with the scroll of sealing, but would be intercepted by Iruka. Iruka would see what was happened and would confront Naruto about this, with Naruto telling him that Mizuki had told Kiba that he needed to steal the scroll of sealing, and that Mizuki had also tried to kill both him and Kiba. Kiba would also say that this is true, and then would go to the Hokage's office, where they would all tell the Hokage what had happened. The Anbu that Hiruzen had sent out had been brought back, and had told that the emergency has now been called off, as they had found out that Mizuki was a traitor, and that Kiba had really done nothing wrong, as he was just doing what he thought was right in the moment, trusting his long-time teacher to steal the scroll of sealing. The whole thing would be called off, and Kiba would get a mouth thrashing by his mother as well as his sister, and they would apologize to the Third Hokage for his idiot brother and idiot son to do such a stupid thing, and would go off getting no repercussions, as it wasn't really Kiba's fault. Naruto, on the other hand, would also get a talking to by the Third Hokage and ask if he's alright. Naruto would respond saying that he is fine, and the Third Hokage would say, "Not physically, I'm talking about your mental state, as this is your first kill that you've ever done as a genin." Naruto would say that he doesn't really feel anything from it, but does feel sad deep inside, as this was his teacher, and he did have some sort of connection towards him. Naruto would be very upset, wouldn't be really upset, but still would be upset and having sympathy and pity, as he might have overdone it dealing with Mizuki, but was actually in that moment very annoyed and enraged, as someone who was their teacher for so long turned on the village, as well as Kiba and him himself. Because of Naruto instantly killing Mizuki, he wouldn't be informed of the seal, and that he is the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails Fox, and wouldn't have this bearing over his mind for the whole season, for the whole anime of the OG Naruto. Sorry, I was very confusing what I'm saying. Now we'll skip the 2 weeks. Naruto is still very strong. He still did his training and everything like that. So we'll go towards into the class team organization. Coming into the class, Naruto would have his Nichiren blade by his side, and the class would all talk about how Naruto has a very cool sword, and that is very cool looking. Naruto, however, in this scenario would also have some type of fangirls throughout the entire time at the academy, as although he still has that scar looking thing on his face, his facial structure, and he actually does look like Yoriichi, but he will have a darker shade of like yellow hair. Alright, so Iruka would come into the class, and some of the Naruto's classmates would ask where Mizuki is. Kiba would get an uncomfortable feeling over this, and Iruka would tell the class that Iruka has died, as he was a traitor to the village, and that he had tried to steal the scroll of sealing. Shikamaru would notice that Kiba has really an uncomfortable stance and look, as he is very embarrassed of the situation, but Shikamaru wouldn't say anything about it. The teams would go as usual, with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura being put in a team, with Sakura jumping in the air, saying, "Love prevails," and sticking her tongue out towards Ino. Ino is annoyed by this, but isn't really, and is still bothered like this in the original, as all the other teams get put in their original place. 3 hours later, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are still waiting for Kakashi to arrive, and suddenly Kakashi would arrive and say that he is their sensei, and is saying that his first impression of them is bland, as Sasuke has a brooding look, and Naruto doesn't have any type of facial expression at all. I'd also like to say in this that Kakashi was one of the Anbu that was sent to keep Naruto safe, but didn't have any real interactions with Naruto, as he still had his mask on the entire time, as he was asked by the Third Hokage to help, as it is his sensei's son, but they still didn't have any actual interaction with each other, so Naruto does not know who he is and what the relation is between them. Kakashi would tell them all to meet them up on the rooftop, and everyone would agree, with Kakashi poofing out of existence, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura going up the stairs to meet up with Kakashi. I'm honestly gonna skip all this because it's basically the exact same thing as the original. So I'll just skip it. Naruto's wouldn't really be the same. Oh, I'll tell you Naruto's. So his likes would be the same, his dislikes are the same, but his goal and ambition, his goal would still be the Hokage, but not because he wants to have the recognition of the village, but he wants to make the world and the village a much safer place, as he cares for the next generation as well as his friends and precious people to him, which is the village and all its people. Kakashi would tell them that they aren't actual official Genin at this moment and would have to do the special Genin test. And would describe that it is, or he wouldn't describe it, but he would tell them that they should not eat for tomorrow's test and that he is now leaving. He would disappear, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would think about what the test is tomorrow. Sakura would ask Sasuke out to get dinner with her, with Sasuke saying no, walking up to Naruto and asking if they could talk to each other. Sasuke and Naruto would walk off together, with Sakura following them as she doesn't want to be left out. Sasuke would ask why Naruto is so strong after all these years being put in the same team with them. Naruto wouldn't actually tell them how he's strong. I would just say that he trains. Sasuke, biting down on his pride, would ask Naruto if he can help him, as in this scenario, because Naruto and Sasuke had the type of rivalry, they would have a much better bond than the original. It wouldn't have the Dobby type of situation, as they know that Naruto is from a prestigious type of clan, but the clan is nearly dead, and that would have the same type of connection, as Sasuke is also from a prestigious clan, but his clan is also nearly wiped out. Naruto would agree to this and tell Sasuke that he can help train them, as well as help train Sakura if she needs that training, which they would both agree, with Sakura also agreeing. Naruto, like Yoriichi, would go off with Sakura and Sasuke to a private training ground, which was authorized by the Third Hokage, as that is a private type of training ground for the Third Hokage, which was given to Naruto. Naruto would take them both, being greeted by one of the caregivers of Naruto. They would notice how Naruto's house is very good looking and isn't like broken or like really trashy as it is in the original. And Naruto would give them a sword, saying that he specializes in swords, and would give both Sakura and Sasuke swords. I reckon Sasuke's, because he has a lightning affinity, Naruto would try to teach both Sakura and Sasuke the sun breathing techniques, but because this is kind of a one person only type of thing, with Yoriichi being able to do it, as well as Tanjiro, no one else will be able to learn sun breathing, so I'll go into like the other breathing techniques. So I'd also like to say this, that Naruto does have those earrings as well. It just fits the look, With Naruto noticing that they can't actually, or Sasuke and Sakura, they both can't actually do the sun breathing, and they aren't getting really close to actually doing it. He would try to derive different things from sun breathing. There's also another thing I'd also like to say, that the dance breathing and those like, all the flames and stuff, they are real flames. They do come out as a nature release type of thing. So any type of fighting sequence where Naruto does use a technique from the Breath of the Sun, there will be type of flames that come out as well. So Naruto, who would have chakra nature papers, would give both chakra nature papers to Sasuke and Sakura. Oh, actually, no, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm searching up what Sakura's not chakra nature is. I think she doesn't even have any. I think okay, I would go over to that one. So, using the chakra natures, Sasuke would find out that he has a very strong lightning affinity, as well as having a weaker flame fire affinity. Sakura, I'm pretty sure that she has I'll say that she has a water affinity, as well as a mild earth affinity. But we'll have, because she has a bigger water affinity, I'll go with that. Naruto, thinking that he can derive different breathing styles from the sun breathing, would try to teach Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke would be taught the thunder breath, with Sakura being taught the water breath. Because Sasuke is very strong, and when is stronger than base is stronger than Demon Slayer characters, will be able to pick up, as well as he's also a genius, will be able to pick up and learn the thunder breath. He wouldn't be able to perfect it, but he'd be able to learn like the first form of it, which is the thunder clap. He wouldn't be very proficient in it, and wouldn't actually use it as a start. Sakura, however, would be only now learning the basics, as because she is so physically weak, she wouldn't be able to properly do these things. And Naruto would, for the rest of the day, would try to help and teach the basics on how to use these type of breath styles, which had been configured directly for those two people. We'll skip now to the next day. Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto would all meet at the proper time as Kakashi had told them to meet, which I'll say is 9 AM. All meeting at the training grounds of Team 7. They would wait for Kakashi, but Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura would all predict that Kakashi will be 3 hours late again. Waiting for this, Naruto would have brought food for them, as they want to have as much energy, as Naruto had thought that because of the 3 hours waiting from yesterday, that it would probably happen that day, and then would be eating food, waiting for Kakashi, hiding it when he comes. Kakashi would appear out of nowhere using a shunshin, and would tell Team 7 that the test that they'll be doing is the bell test, and he would show the 2 bells in front of the team, and would say that one of you isn't going to pass, but 2 of you are, and the first 2 people to get these bells will pass. Kakashi would say that they have a 1 hour time limit, and they would all be sent off. And then timer would be set off, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would all go towards the same direction, trying to formulate a plan. During this time, Sakura and Sasuke do not have their swords, but Naruto does have his sword, as Sasuke and Sakura still aren't really adept in the breathing styles, as they are just starting to train in them. Okay, so after Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura have thought of a plan, they would all use the go out and try to attack Kakashi. Naruto would first go out, trying to weaken Kakashi as much as possible, as Sakura and Sasuke know with that Naruto is much stronger than them, and might actually be on a Jonin level. Naruto would go out to try to face Kakashi. Kakashi, noticing Naruto, or he would have already noticed and be able to sense he would actually be able to sense him. Yeah, I know. Kakashi wouldn't be able to sense Naruto because he doesn't have any fighting spirit. So I would say that would also hide his chakra signature as well. So he's like a perfect like spy person, because he doesn't have any presence at all. So from surprise of Kakashi, Naruto would appear, and Kakashi would think to himself that he couldn't sense Naruto at all. Even if he isn't a sensor, he should still be able to pick up on a genin. Even though he knows that Naruto is much stronger than a genin, he would still think that he should be able to pick up on his chakra signature, as he still has a very large chakra pool. A fight would ensue with Kakashi and Naruto. Kakashi not taking seriously at first, but will notice that all these slashes are getting very close to him, and Naruto would use all his sun-breathing forms, like sunflower thrusting his blade, scratching Kakashi's cheek, cutting some of his mask. Kakashi, noticing all this, would be very astonished that Naruto's speed and power is enough to catch him, a Jonin, off guard, even if he is a mid-ranked Jonin. It is still very impressive for a Genin. Naruto would use Fire Wheel, using the leaping up and using a downward slash on Kakashi, and Kakashi would all this time notice that he is using a nature release, which is fire release. Well, it would be a very strong fire release, to be able to use it without any hand signs and be able to brush off the sword. During this time, Sasuke and Sakura will be sneaking behind Kakashi, as Kakashi is actually trying in this fight, and it would be a type of stalemate, as Naruto still isn't going full out, as he doesn't actually want to cut or kill Kakashi, but is still trying, as he still is a 13-year-old fighting a trained Jonin. Sakura and Sasuke would try to reach and get the bells off Kakashi, as Sasuke would leap into the air using a fire style grade 5 level jutsu and shooting it down at Kakashi. Sakura during this time would run in and try to, after the fireball has exploded and Naruto has gone on the way, would try to in the dust collect and grab the bells, but unfortunately she would not be able to, as Kakashi would kick her out the way. Naruto, seeing that Sakura has been kicked away, would use his 13th form of the sun breathing, which is just a continuous using of all of the forms in a succession over and over again. Doing this, Sakura and Sasuke will be astonished of the precision and power that Naruto is showing with every single sword strike, and Kakashi, who is now trying extra hard, would be constantly being cut and barely being able to dodge these attacks, and would be cut on the lower arm and would be also cut on the cheek again, as well as on the chest, cutting most, if not all, of his of the ligaments on his legs, crippling Kakashi onto the floor. Naruto would be able to quickly grab the two bells, and the test would finish with Naruto beating Kakashi, as well as getting the help from Sasuke and Sakura. Again, because Naruto is so kind-hearted, when Kakashi asks who he's going to give his second bell to, Naruto would give both of his bells to Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura, believing that she didn't actually do anything to help in this situation, would give her bell back to Naruto. And Sasuke, who thought to himself that this type of situation is not the way him and Uchiha should graduate to become a Genin, and would give his bell back to Naruto, saying that he didn't really deserve it, and Naruto did all the work, essentially, in getting the bells. Kakashi would be pleased by this outcome, would say that they all passed, as they all used teamwork, and didn't sacrifice one of the people to not be able to pass, and were willing to not pass them for themselves, both Sakura and Sasuke, as well as Naruto giving both his bells as well, meaning that they all were willing to sacrifice themselves, but their teammates also weren't. And Kakashi would give his speech that those who abandon the mission, no, I don't even remember the thing. It's just like, don't leave your teammates, you know. It's kind of hard to get through all that stuff. So that's where I'm going to leave this off. It's been a very long part, maybe 50 minutes of this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part. I will be doing a part 2 to this because I really enjoy this, as I really do love Demon Slayer and Naruto, and I think that this is can be a very overpowered series, but not so overpowered like my previous ones. So yeah, please like and subscribe. It would mean very much to me, and it is greatly appreciated. Please do leave a comment on anything you think that the series could help, and if you actually do want me to change the breath styles of either Sasuke or Sakura, I think that would be pretty cool. I'm thinking of towards Sasuke getting the thunder breath, or you know, he can also go to the flame breath, as he also is an Uchiha, and the Uchihas are greatly known for their fire techniques. I'm not wanting Sakura to get the stone breath because I don't think her like body. I think no, actually no. I think actually no, that'd be pretty cool. after the OG Naruto going to Shippuden, she could actually get the stone breath, as she needs to be physically strong. I'll leave that up to you guys if you want her to get either water breath or stone breath, as either one would be pretty good for her type of style. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.